This version of Rotary in an Hour was digitized on 29 January 2024. The original audio tape, produced by Rotary International no later than the early 2000s, does not bear a copyright. If you have any questions, please visit our website, www.bahrnoproducts.com.
Hello, I'm Rotarian John Jacobs.
And I'm Rotarian Sandra Blake.
In the next 60 minutes, we would like to give you a clear picture of what Rotary International is all about.
And how it betters the lives of people in communities around the world.
Sandra, did you know that Rotary was born in a rough and tumble city in the Midwestern USA amidst a population explosion and labor unrest?
That sounds a lot like turn-of-the-century Chicago, Illinois.
That's right. People were everywhere, but nowhere a friend. That was how a lonely young lawyer, Paul Harris, described life in Chicago back then. Yet it was in that sprawling, fast-paced city that Paul Harris founded Rotary in 1905. Paul wanted to recreate the friendliness he'd known in rural New England, where he'd been raised as a boy. Little did he know this oasis of friendship and service called Rotary would bloom and multiply to help people worldwide build better lives.
But how did Paul Harris come up with the name Rotary?
Actually, Paul befriended 3 Chicago businessmen, and they began rotating weekly meetings at each other's offices to further fellowship and promote their business and professional ventures. When they thought about what to call their group, Rotary seemed the natural choice. As membership in the club grew, however, it became impractical to get together in Rotarians' offices, and the meetings were held in hotels and restaurants as they are today. To make sure the club included a cross-section of the local business and professional community, which is the strength of every Rotary club in the world, the 4 founders hit upon a unique idea. They agreed to admit only one representative of each business and profession to membership. And so Rotary's classification system of membership was born. Membership was by invitation and remains so today. From the first, Rotary's founders structured membership in a way that would make Rotary meetings both enjoyable and informative.
Rotary clubs worldwide practice those basic concepts in a contemporary manner today, with one key difference. Self-interest has been replaced by service above self. This phrase, in fact, is Rotary's official motto. The reason for the change? It became clear early on that fellowship and self-help alone were not enough to keep a club of busy professionals meeting together week in and week out. Service to the less fortunate has proven to be an even more powerful motivation. For Rotarians recognize, as the saying goes, that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on Earth.
In 1907, the Rotary Club of Chicago embarked on its first community service project, erecting a public comfort station near City Hall. The future course of Rotary was now set. With radio still in its infancy and air travel unknown, expansion was slow during these early years. But the Rotary ideal won ready acceptance wherever it was introduced. The second Rotary Club was organized in 1908 in San Francisco, California, USA. 2 years later, a club was formed in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and Rotary became international. Rotary crossed the Atlantic in 1911 when clubs sprang up in London, England, Dublin, Ireland, and Belfast, Northern Ireland. The movement became truly global in the 1920s, when clubs formed throughout Europe, South and Central America, Australia, Africa, and Asia.
Over the years, Rotary has continued to grow by leaps and bounds. As of 1991, there were more than 1.1 million Rotarians in nearly 26,000 clubs in 172 countries and geographical areas. This includes more than 31,000 women. Women were accepted into Rotary from 1989, when Rotary's legislative body, the Council on Legislation, agreed to allow clubs to admit qualified women as members.
Rotary International was the world's first association of service clubs. Our organization's appeal has been universal, and it has been widely imitated. Rotary is the forerunner of Kiwanis International, founded in 1915, and of Lions International, formed 2 years later. In addition, Zonta International, launched in 1919, and the first Women's Service Association, was modeled after Rotary. Rotary also laid the groundwork for several other well-known organizations, such as the International Society for Crippled Children, founded in 1922, and now known as Rehabilitation International. Rotary formed the foundation for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. The organization grew out of a Rotary conference held in London, England in 1942. The conference was called to consider how to organize international educational and cultural exchange in the wake of the vast devastation of World War II. As British Prime Minister Winston Churchill later observed, "All thinking men recognize the moral and spiritual value of Rotary. There is indeed a wealth of meaning in the motto of service above self. Few there are who do not recognize the good work which is done by Rotary clubs throughout the free world."
Rotary reached a milestone in 1928 when the Rotary International Convention, meeting in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, agreed to launch the Rotary Foundation. The foundation was the brainstorm of Arch Klumpf, president in 1917 of what was then known as the Association of Rotary Clubs. At the International Convention in Atlanta, Georgia, USA that year, he successfully proposed the creation of what he called an endowment fund for Rotary, for the purpose of doing good in the world in charitable, educational, and other avenues of community progress. That endowment fund was the forerunner of the Rotary Foundation and received its first contribution in 1918, $26.50 U.S., from the Rotary Club of Kansas City, Missouri, USA. By 1990, contributions to the foundation totaled more than $554 million. Events in Rotary's recent history have proved just as dramatic. They include the readmission of clubs in Hungary, Poland, and Czechoslovakia after the end of 40 years of Cold War, and the establishment for the first time ever of Rotary clubs in the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia.
A significant feature of our association is its simplicity of organization. A Rotarian is a member of his or her Rotary Club, and the club is a member of Rotary International. Clubs are grouped together into Rotary districts, each led by a district governor, who is an officer of RI and the representative of the RI Board of Directors in the field. There are nearly 500 Rotary districts worldwide. Each Rotary Club elects its own Board of Directors and enjoys great autonomy within the framework of its own constitution and the RI Constitution and bylaws. Rotary International is administered by an 18-member Board of Directors, which meets quarterly to establish policies and programs, with steady input from committees of Rotarians representing the 6 regions of the Rotary world. Rotary seeks to bring together in a friendly, impartial atmosphere people of all races, religious faiths, and political beliefs. Membership in Rotary, in turn, brings many privileges and also certain obligations. Rotarians are expected to order their personal lives and business and professional activities so they will be loyal citizens of their communities and countries. Each Rotarian is also expected to demonstrate the ideals of Rotary in all aspects of life, to friends, business associates, and of course to the general public. In addition, regular attendance at weekly Rotary Club meetings is required.
As you've just heard, Rotary has grown tremendously over the years in terms of membership and the positive example it set. But what about the many ways Rotarians meet people's needs? You're probably wondering, hasn't Rotary's program of service mushroomed as well? Indeed it has. In 1926, 2 members of the Rotary Club of London hit upon the idea that Rotary service flowed naturally into 4 so-called channels: club service, vocational service, community service, and international service. These channels, later termed avenues of service, were adopted at the RI Convention at Ostend, Belgium in 1926. They are the framework for virtually all of Rotary's programs today. The keystone of Rotary service is a set of principles called the Object of Rotary, which states that the object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to foster First, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and the professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying by Rotarians of their occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service by each Rotarian to his or her personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional people united in the ideal of service.
Now, let's take a closer look at the 4 avenues of service. The first avenue is club service, which encompasses all the activities a Rotarian engages in to ensure a healthy, growing club. Club service includes attending club meetings, taking part in club programs, participating in committee work, and actively promoting membership growth. A Rotarian is counted as attending a regular meeting of a Rotary Club if he or she is present for at least 60% of the meeting. Of course, sometimes it's impossible to attend because of illness or the pressure of family or business commitments. Therefore, Rotarians can make up a missed meeting at any Rotary Club anywhere in the world, as long as they do so within 6 days before or afterwards. If a Rotarian misses 4 consecutive regular club meetings, however, he or she is automatically dropped from club membership. The fuel that drives Rotary and helps maintain high club attendance is fellowship. As it is often said, nobody ever obtained fellowship from an empty chair. To promote fellowship, Rotarians are encouraged to support all club functions, spouses' nights, fireside meetings, club assemblies, and the district conference, which is a smaller version of the Rotary International Convention. Families of Rotarians are also welcome to attend the district conference. There, everyone gains inspiration and insight into many aspects of Rotary, both local and international. And while they are at it, they have a marvelous time. An important catalyst of fellowship and strong attendance at Rotary Club meetings is the Club Bulletin. Published weekly by the Rotary Club, it carries news about club members, a report on last week's program, and information on next week's, plus important news from your district governor, and sometimes from Rotary's world headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, USA.
Another key to maintaining a healthy, active club is promoting a positive attitude toward bringing in new members. It's the best guarantee against a club slipping into premature and lackluster middle age. In every Rotary Club, there are 3 pillars of membership: the classification system, membership development, and membership itself. As mentioned, it is the classification committee's job to ensure that each club has a cross-section of the professional and business community in which it functions. What exactly is a classification? It is the principal and recognized activity of a firm. It can also describe an individual's chief business or professional activity in the firm. At the beginning of each year, the Classifications Committee updates its survey of all the recognized services that businesses and professions offer to the general public in the club's territory, and makes a list of filled and unfilled classifications. For example, Rotarian Tom Benton runs a small advertising agency. His classification would be advertising. Dr. Shirley Jones is a physician, and her specialty is internal medicine. Her classification would be medicine internal. Or let's say a new data processing firm has just opened up in the community, but there's no one from the firm in the Rotary Club. The Classifications Committee would establish data processing as an open classification. This and other classifications that are open are then published in the club bulletin. However, classifications are not given to or bestowed upon members. They are loaned to them for the duration of their membership in the club. It is the duty of the Rotary Club's Membership Development Committee to seek out qualified members to fill open classifications, and it is the charge of the Membership Committee to investigate the qualifications of those who are proposed for membership.
Which brings us to the different types of membership in Rotary Clubs. There are 4, namely active, senior active, past service, and honorary. Every member, it should be added, must either work or reside within the territorial limits of his or her club. Active members are Rotarians who are working and have been loaned a classification from their Rotary Club, and therefore have become members of the club. An active member can propose an additional active member who has the same classification as the proposer. This is an important way of enlarging the membership of a Rotary Club. Active members automatically become senior actives in 3 ways: by having been active members of 1 or more clubs for 15 years, by being 60 years of age with 10 or more years of active membership, or by reaching age 65 with 5 years of active membership. When a person becomes a senior active, his or her classification opens, and it should be filled as promptly as possible with qualified active members. This is another important way to extend and enlarge membership. What you have just heard is a general description of membership categories. To learn the details of membership, consult the Standard Rotary Club Constitution, which is printed in the Manual of Procedure. Other useful resources are the Club President's Workbook and the Rotary Basic Library. You'll be hearing more about these and other Rotary publications later. Another catalyst to club service is having good Rotary Club programs. They spark interesting weekly meetings and help ensure a lively, active club. The chairman of the program committee should strive to develop interesting and important programs and have 1 or 2 emergency programs ready in case a speaker fails to show up. It's also essential that programs during the year cover all the avenues of service, including the Rotary Foundation, so the club is inspired to take part in projects that improve the local community and communities in other lands. You'll find many good suggestions on how to get this vital job done in the Club President's Workbook and the Club Service volume of the Rotary Basic Library.
As membership in Rotary is based on one's business or profession, it follows that the second avenue of service is vocational service. For many years, vocational service was viewed as the personal contribution each Rotarian could make in the workplace, essentially by upholding the ideal of service in one's business or profession. However, this definition was rather vague, and as a result, the second avenue of service was often neglected. To correct this situation, the RI Board in 1987 redefined and expanded the scope of vocational service, designating it the responsibility of both Rotarians and their clubs. And in 1989, the Council on Legislation adopted an important vocational service declaration. The declaration states that, as a Rotarian engaged in a business or profession, I am expected to 1. Consider my vocation to be another opportunity to serve. 2. Be faithful to the letter and to the spirit of the ethical codes of my vocation, to the laws of my country, and to the moral standards of my community. 3. Do all in my power to dignify my chosen vocation and to promote the highest ethical standards in my vocation. 4. Be fair to my employer, employees, associates, competitors, customers, the public, and all those with whom I have a business or professional relationship. 5. Recognize the honor and respect due to all occupations which are useful to society. 6. Offer my vocational talents to provide opportunities for young people, to work for the relief of the special needs of others, and to improve the quality of life in my community. 7. Adhere to honesty in my advertising and in all representations to the public concerning my business or profession. And 8. Neither seek from nor grant to a fellow Rotarian a privilege or advantage not normally accorded others in a business or professional relationship.
A standard of excellence Rotarians and their clubs are encouraged to follow in vocational service is the 4-way test. It aptly applies to all avenues of service and consists of 4 questions that ask: 1. Is it the truth? 2. Is it fair to all concerned? 3. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Vocational service challenges Rotarians to apply the 4-way test as they practice their businesses and professions, and it challenges Rotary clubs to apply it to service projects and activities. Rotary clubs in Nigeria and Germany, for example, have teamed up to operate a Braille printing press to produce reading materials for the blind and visually impaired. In France, Rotary clubs are famous for annually conducting career conferences for young people nationwide, called l'Opération Carrière. The event usually has more than 200 Rotarians on hand to serve as counselors. An Australian Rotary Club is setting up a network of organizations to provide free counseling for new and developing businesses, using retirees as a prime source of professional expertise. A USA club has set up seminars on managing stress in the workplace and at home, and on the quality of life in the workplace. Rotary clubs can also work to reduce unemployment in their communities by helping to retrain workers displaced by new technologies or by publicizing the need for retraining. And they can assist in combating drug abuse and alcoholism in the workplace. As with any avenue of service, the only limit is imagination. The VOICE program, sponsored by Rotarians in Delhi, India, is a good example. VOICE stands for Vocational Oriented Instructional Centers. The program provides specialized vocational education and training to young people who lack employable skills. The emphasis is on video instruction, supplemented by workshop training, part-time teachers, and hands-on experience. In Delhi, large vans equipped by Rotary as mobile vocational training units reach people at their doorsteps. Ultimately, 70 such centers are envisioned, which could train thousands of people each year. Says one Rotarian of the program's success in using video, the traditional method of teaching is slow and has limitations, especially when a manual skill is being taught. Teaching through the medium of video is many times more powerful and effective. You can pick the best teacher from anywhere, and any student from somewhere else can now get that teacher's guidance. The video demonstrates. It does not merely tell how to do a task.
Rotary's third avenue of service is community service, which is sometimes called the heartbeat of Rotary. It comprises all the activities that Rotarians undertake, sometimes in conjunction with other groups, to better the quality of life for all people within the club's territory. To help clarify the highly varied menu of club activities, the RI Board in 1990 divided community service into 4 categories: human development, community development, environmental protection, and partners in service. The board recommends that each club establish subcommittees under the community service chairman to work in each of these areas. Human development focuses on literacy programs, youth activities, drug abuse prevention, child care, aid to the elderly, and similar projects. Community development is concerned with the bricks and mortar aspects of service, that is, with physically improving the community by developing parks and playlots or projects related to libraries, schools, healthcare facilities, and the like. Environmental protection means combating pollution of all kinds, conserving natural resources, beautification, cleanup and recycling campaigns, and raising the community's awareness of the need to conserve and protect the environment. The well-known slogan, "Think globally, act locally," is a good guide. Partners in Service is charged with building relationships with the organizations that Rotary sponsors. These include Rotaract and Interact clubs, and the Rotary Village Corps, all official Rotary programs that you will hear more about momentarily.
How does a club launch a community service project? Before doing so, it should do 3 important things. 1, examine the projects that are currently underway to determine if they should be continued. 2, make a thorough survey of business people, civic organizations, and local residents to determine which new project would benefit the community most. And 3, work with existing organizations to accomplish the club's goal. There are thousands of ongoing, richly diverse community service projects around the world. Rotary's reputation, in fact, largely rests on them. They range from simple neighborhood cleanup days to highly complex, long-range projects, such as a major fundraiser for a community medical clinic. For example, clubs in Australia, France, Great Britain, and the USA, and many other parts of the world have long participated in Meals on Wheels projects to aid the frail and lonely elderly. The Rotary Club of Brussels East, Brabant in Brussels, Belgium, has worked with the Braille League of Brussels to produce a Braille map and tourist guide of the city for the blind. Many Rotary clubs and districts in India support what are called eye camps, where volunteer surgeons have restored the sight of thousands of people with cataracts. When Rotarians work smart as a club, there's no telling what impact they can have. In Tennessee, USA, Rotarians for many years have operated a youth town for boys and girls from disadvantaged homes. In addition to supplying basic human necessities, the project enables young people to raise vegetables, fruits, and cattle for market to offset overhead costs. Says one former resident of the facility, "Thanks to Youth Town, I was able to turn my life into something positive for myself and the community. Instead of becoming a drain on society, I built a business of my own that has created jobs for others. I am able to give something back to the community that gave so much to me."
In addition to activities that clubs undertake on their own, there are a number of official Rotary programs that fall under the category of community service. Let's take a look at some of them. Rotaract is a Rotary-sponsored service organization for young business and professional men and women ages 18 through 30. Founded in 1968, it numbers more than 124,000 members in 5,400 clubs in 108 countries. Rotaract clubs are based either in the community or are an extracurricular activity on college campuses. They meet twice each month, and a member of the sponsoring Rotary Club, usually from the Partners in Service Committee, attends at least one of these meetings. The Rotarian lends advice when necessary and keeps his or her Rotary Club up to date on the Rotaract Club's plans and activities. Rotaract meetings feature speakers, special outings, social activities, discussions, and visits to other clubs. Why do young people join Rotaract? Partly to enhance their professional development. For that reason, Rotaract clubs frequently invite speakers on management, business ethics, trends in technology, and similar topics. Each Rotaract club carries out at least one community service and one international service project each year. Rotaractors serve as tutors in literacy programs, support drug abuse prevention, organize community cleanup campaigns, work to aid the elderly, volunteer their professional skills in international aid projects, and much more. Another reason young people join Rotaract is simply to have fun, and this they do in abundance by raising money for global relief programs through car rallies, barbecues, dances, excursions, and cultural festivals, and by making exchange visits with clubs in other countries. One of the most ambitious projects ever undertaken by Rotaract clubs was a 36-person amphibious cycle built and pedaled by Dutch Rotaractors to raise funds for Rotary's Polio Plus program. For 1 month, Rotaractors pedaled the cycle on land and sea, in England and across the English Channel to France, then on to Belgium and the Netherlands. Some 285 businesses sponsored the tour, which was also assisted by 22 Rotaract clubs in 4 countries. The project generated $210,000 US for Polio Plus, with most of the funds used for immunizing children in the West African country of Burkina Faso. As one Rotaractor exuberantly put it, "We're grateful to have this opportunity to make a real contribution to the world. Through this project, I have learned that almost anything is possible." Given this kind of enthusiastic, can-do commitment, it's not surprising that Rotaractors often become excellent Rotarians.
Rotary also sponsors a program for young people ages 14 to 18. Founded in 1962, it is called Interact and operates in many ways similar to Rotaract. Interact clubs are sponsored by Rotary clubs. Most are school-based, but some are community-based. Currently, there are 160,000 interactors in 7,300 clubs in 96 countries. The program offers young people a way to learn the rewards of service. Interactors organize drug abuse awareness campaigns, work with disabled children, carry out community cleanup drives, and participate in other activities. Members of Interact clubs in California, USA, for example, traveled to Ensenada, Mexico, where they built 2 community playgrounds and provided clothing to many local residents. Also important is the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards Program, or RYLA, which began in Australia and is now active in much of the Rotary world. The purpose of RYLA is fourfold. 1, to demonstrate Rotary's respect and concern for youth. 2, encourage and assist youth leaders and potential leaders age 18 to 24 by providing them with leadership training. 3. Encourage strong leadership of youth by youth. And 4. Publicly recognize the outstanding qualities of young people who are serving their communities as youth leaders. A RILA program usually originates with a Rotary District's RILA Committee. The program consists of a series of leadership seminars, interspersed with social activities at a camp or meeting site. RILA awardees are selected from a variety of backgrounds. Many have years of experience in scouting, while others have unusual qualifications. One participant was the former leader of an antisocial motorcycle gang. But RILA helped him change direction, and he went on to become the director of a social service agency that works with maladjusted youth.
The Rotary Village Corps, or RVC, is another major community service program. It consists of community development projects headed by groups of service-minded local leaders who obtain business and technical assistance from their sponsoring Rotary clubs. RVCs are designed to help people help themselves. Their goal is to improve the quality of life in a rural village, an inner-city community, or other economically depressed area. Rotarians also assist with RVC project financing by helping Corps members find seed money, develop revolving loan funds, or organize community banks. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, for example, an RVC established a furniture repair training program and a pizza business with the help of the sponsoring Rotary Club. Worldwide, nearly 4,100 RVCs are working to better their communities in some 39 countries.
An ongoing 10-year umbrella program of Rotary International is improving literacy in communities around the world. Launched in 1986, this vital campaign is drawing the participation of more and more Rotary clubs each year. While Rotary is encouraging involvement in all avenues of service to make literacy a reality in developing and industrialized nations alike, many efforts are community service projects. As an example, a remote village in India, whose population is largely illiterate, now has a new adult education center where residents are learning to read thanks to the support of a nearby Rotary Club. The workforce in a town in Georgia, USA, is upgrading its literacy skills through Project HELP, whose letters stand for Helping Earners Learn and Prepare. The town's Rotary Club played a major role in developing the program, which provides basic adult education and preparation for high school graduation through a mobile learning lab. And the Right to Read program in South Africa has received a timely boost from a Rotary Club in Transvaal. The club donated tape recorders and other equipment for use in teaching reading skills. Perhaps the most telling evidence of literacy improvement, however, is the transformation of one person's life. It is seen in people like the woman who decided to enroll in a reading program sponsored by a Rotary Club in Texas, USA. After finishing the program, she went from cleaning homes and offices for a living to working as a licensed practical nurse and is now studying to become a registered nurse.
Preserve Planet Earth is a Rotary program aimed at halting the devastation of our planet's natural resources. Launched in 1990, the pilot program focuses on 4 areas: plants, animals, air pollution, and water resources, with a strong emphasis on public education. Rotary clubs are encouraged to conduct or sponsor workshops to identify environmental problems in their communities and explore solutions. Clubs are also asked to send information on successful Preserve Planet Earth projects to the RI Central Office for other clubs to emulate.
This ends Side 1. Our program continues on Side 2.
This version of Rotary in an Hour was digitized on 29 January 2024. The original audio tape, produced by Rotary International no later than the early 2000s, does not bear a copyright. If you have any questions, please visit our website, www.bahrnoproducts.com.
Said, if you have a message to deliver, wrap it up in a person. This is especially true of international service, which is Rotary's 4th avenue of service. International service gives Rotarians the opportunity to literally reach across oceans and national boundaries to meet a multitude of human needs. Through material, technical, and professional assistance, international service also promotes world understanding and goodwill. It essentially embraces four basic areas: world community service and related programs, international educational and cultural exchange activities, international observances and events, and international meetings. The Rotary Foundation of RI, whose programs and activities fall under the category of international service, is highly active in each of these areas. The Foundation, celebrating its 75th anniversary in 1992, is a not-for-profit corporation providing worldwide humanitarian grants to needy people and worthy projects. It also provides educational awards for international exchanges of university scholars and teachers, and business and professional people. The Foundation's objective is the achievement of world understanding and peace through international charitable and educational programs. Upon the death of Paul Harris in 1947, Rotarians contributed $1.3 million U.S. to the Foundation in honor of Rotary's founder. These generous donations enabled the Foundation to grant 18 graduate scholarships, its first significant international service program. This tradition of Foundation support continues today. Those who demonstrate their support for the Foundation's objectives by contributing at least $1,000, or for whom $1,000 is donated in their honor or memory, are, upon request, designated Paul Harris Fellows. Persons may also contribute $1,000 over a period of time as part of the Paul Harris Sustaining Member Plan. Each person recognized as a Paul Harris Fellow is presented with a commemorative certificate, a pin, and a medallion. As of 1991, there were more than 300,000 Paul Harris Fellows worldwide. Most are Rotarians who are devoted to the Foundation's objectives and have chosen to support its programs. An increasing number are Rotary family members. Also, a number of clubs use Paul Harris Fellow recognition to honor their own members or local, national, and world leaders who have demonstrated a commitment to the Foundation's goal of world understanding and peace. Such support makes possible a wide range of highly effective Foundation programs and activities. The most ambitious program in Rotary's history, in fact, is the Foundation's Polio Plus program. It was launched in 1985, following the 80th anniversary of the founding of Rotary. The program has since raised more than $230 million U.S. and is now working through governmental and private health organizations, Rotary clubs, and others to help eradicate polio worldwide. This goal will challenge Rotary for the next decade and require the active involvement of Rotarians everywhere.
Another major thrust of international service is world community service. This program includes large-scale projects such as the Vocational Training Center at the National School for the Deaf in Punjab, Pakistan, supported by local Rotary clubs. In addition, Rotary clubs in England and Japan, along with several international agencies, contributed funds to help build the center. But whether a community's need is great or small, meeting it is what counts most. One Rotary club in Denmark, for example, has collected and transported shoes and clothing to Poland. One of their favorite projects is a home for blind children, to which they've donated toys and food. An important support mechanism within the World Community Service Program is the Donations in Kind Information Network, or DIN. It matches offers of donated goods, supplies, and services, everything from power tools, hospital bedding, and language translation to farm animals and a fire truck, with requests for these items throughout the Rotary world. The network is coordinated by a centralized computer information system operated at Rotary International headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, USA. World Community Service projects sometimes qualify for matching grants or health, hunger, and humanity grants from the Rotary Foundation of RI. Foundation matching grants support various educational and charitable projects of Rotary clubs and districts to further international understanding. Such projects include establishing eye care clinics in villages in Bangladesh and a water and sanitation system for a village in Haiti, and providing a van for transporting homeless children in Mexico to school.
Some international service projects require preliminary travel to successfully get off the ground. Carl P. Miller Discovery Grants are available to provide seed money to carry out the early planning stages of such projects. The grants are administered through the Foundation's Rotary Volunteers Program, which you'll be hearing more about momentarily. The Discovery Grants have been made possible by a generous gift to the Foundation from the late Carl P. Miller, president of Rotary International in 1963 and 64, and his wife Ruth. The Foundation's Health, Hunger, and Humanity Program, or 3H program, was launched in 1980 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of Rotary's founding in 1905. Its objective, to enhance human and social development worldwide. 3H grants support projects such as an integrated healthcare system designed to reach 300,000 people in Mali, prevention of malnutrition in Guatemala, and rehabilitation and training of the handicapped in India. Sometimes Rotary mobilizes resources at the local, national, and international levels to impact a project in a truly profound way. Near Pattaya, Thailand, for example, is a unique complex of schools for blind, deaf, and other disabled young people, along with an orphanage. The project, which assists some 260 youth overall, is headed by Father Ray Brennan, a Catholic priest. One rule of thumb is that no needy child is ever turned away. As Father Ray says emphatically, we always have room. We always make room. Among the project's many successes is that graduates from its computer and electronics courses have a remarkable 100% job placement rate. Father Ray says he could not have achieved the project's goals without Rotary's help. Not long ago, he commented, "Rotarians have given us not only financial support, but moral support." How is that support expressed? Over the years, Rotarians in Thailand have donated their time and talent, funds, and supplies to the project. One local Rotary club has initiated a child sponsorship program and raised funds to modernize computer and electronics equipment at the school for the disabled. Thousands of miles away, a Rotary club in Denmark and another in England have donated funds to the project's School for the Deaf. The two clubs also received a $50,000 U.S. matching grant from the Rotary Foundation of RI to launch the School for the Blind. In fact, some 160 English and Danish Rotarians and their spouses traveled to Thailand to be on hand for the school's opening and presented Father Ray with Paul Harris Fellow recognition. In addition, Rotary clubs in Australia and the United States have contributed to the project. As for the young people under Father Ray's care, he summed up his vision for them this way: "My goal is not to change the world. I can't do that. But I will have succeeded if I can teach them just enough to hold their heads high, to earn their own rights, and to have a life they can be proud of."
International educational and cultural exchange activities, also a major area of international service, includes one of Rotary's most popular programs, Youth Exchange. Each year, some 7,000 young people between the ages of 15 and 19 travel to live with host families in other countries for up to one academic year. The program is implemented by participating Rotary clubs and districts, and each Youth Exchange student is normally assigned a Rotarian counselor. The motto, "Every Rotarian, an example to youth," underscores Rotary's strong commitment to young people, both through Youth Exchange and as a principle of daily living. In addition to completing their studies, Youth Exchange students act as ambassadors for their own countries by addressing Rotary clubs, community organizations, and youth groups in their host countries. As a French student with a Youth Exchange group in Austria commented, "How to create friendly ties between persons from different cultures? It is sometimes miraculous, but this is what Rotary, with its desire to promote understanding, manages to do with ease. Not only did we become better acquainted, we also learned more about ourselves and mankind in general."
Another vital educational thrust of Rotary is the Rotary Foundation of RI, which is the largest privately sponsored scholarships program in the world. Each year, it awards more than 1,000 Rotary Foundation ambassadorial scholarships to students to study in countries other than their own. Scholars study in a variety of fields at both the graduate and undergraduate levels. Special scholarships are also offered for Japanese language study and agricultural development. In addition, the Foundation awards grants for university teachers to serve in developing countries. How important is a Rotary Foundation ambassadorial scholarship to an intelligent, highly motivated young person preparing for a lifelong career? Bill Moyers, award-winning journalist, political commentator, and former Rotary Foundation ambassadorial scholar, put it this way: Rotary enabled me to pursue my curiosity, to pursue my ambition. It did so, however, with a special mandate that is Rotary: to do something worth doing and never forget the people who helped you do it. The Foundation's Group Study Exchange Program provides grants for teams of young business and professional people to travel and learn for 4 to 6 weeks in another country. Team members are non-Rotarians and are led by a Rotarian. While in their host country, they meet with their professional counterparts and visit businesses, schools, and institutions. 2 Rotary districts participate in each exchange, with each district sending and receiving a team during 1 Rotary year. The Foundation's Rotary Volunteers Program is another international service venture. The program subsidizes the expenses of Rotarians, Foundation alumni, and Rotaractors who volunteer their services and expertise in another country. At the invitation of a Rotary Club in Nigeria, for example, a Canadian Rotarian doctor taught diagnostic radiology to 150 medical students at a university hospital, and a Colombian dentist served 4 weeks in a clinic in Brazil.
One way Rotary clubs serve disabled youth in the international arena is through handy camps. These camps are often held in neighboring countries in the summer and coached by able-bodied leaders. A major goal of the camps is to treat disabled young people in the same way as the able-bodied. Another aim is to foster international understanding through Rotary fun and friendship. The first handy camp was held in Norway in 1978 and set a pattern for mixing disabled and able-bodied young people from different countries. Handy camps are conducted along Rotary Youth Exchange guidelines and are financed by Rotary clubs and other individuals and organizations. An added dimension of Rotary's global exchange involvement is World Fellowship activities. These activities foster international friendships through hobbies and recreational interests. World Fellowship groups range from amateur or ham radio and chess to golf, skiing, and yachting. This program, together with Rotary Friendship Exchange, which enables Rotarians and their families to stay in the homes of Rotarians in other countries, offers Rotarians a good way to enlarge their circle of friends through Rotary.
Special observances and events offer Rotary clubs unique ways to observe and promote achievements in international service. There are special months, such as the Rotary Foundation Month in November and World Understanding Month in February, during which Rotary clubs are encouraged to undertake projects consistent with the monthly theme. In addition, Rotary clubs are encouraged to improve world literacy in a priority campaign called Hope for Reading. 3 major ways for clubs to be involved are World Community Service and the Rotary Foundation's matching grants and health, hunger, and humanity programs. International meetings provide fellowship opportunities that often forge communications links lasting for years. These include Rotary's annual International Convention, its regional conferences, Rotary Peace programs, inter-country meetings, goodwill conferences, and other multinational meetings. Many youth exchange, group study exchange, and world community service projects have grown out of initial contacts at these meetings. The International Convention is a colorful, educational, and inspirational gathering that features lively and topical plenary sessions, fellowship activities, and speakers of world reputation. The unique flavor of this gala event is seasoned with the sight of turbaned Asians, Americans in casual suits, Africans in multicolored robes, kilted Scots, and a myriad of others, together with the sound of many languages being spoken. The convention is open to all Rotarians, many of whom now fly with their families across oceans and continents to take part. Rotary Peace Programs is the newest chapter in Rotary's long history of working toward global harmony. Launched in 1987, it is an international service effort sponsored by the Rotary Foundation of RI. Its purpose? To promote discussion among Rotarians and the general public in different parts of the world about issues that cause conflict and explore peaceful means of resolving them. Toward this end, Rotary clubs and districts are encouraged to undertake activities that further understanding and friendly relations between peoples of different nations.
As you have heard, Rotarians have many opportunities to become personally involved in international service. Those who do so gain a better appreciation for the circumstances faced by developing countries, a knowledge of another culture, and the satisfaction of working toward a common goal. A hallmark of Rotary's programs throughout the 4 avenues of service is flexibility. At no point in Rotary's development have Rotarians as an organization sought to say, "We can stop here, we've done our part," for people's needs and circumstances continue to change. Likewise, Rotary founder Paul Harris never believed Rotary should remain static. More than 30 years after Rotary was founded, he wrote, "This is a changing world. We must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again." Over the years, the Secretariat of Rotary International has provided staff support to the implementation of Rotary's service aims and efforts. Currently, it maintains a staff of some 400 full-time employees at the world headquarters of RI, located in the Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois, USA. About 100 additional staff members serve Rotary in 9 branch offices around the world. Just how busy is the Secretariat of RI? As the association's communications hub, the world headquarters alone receives more than 1 million pieces of mail per year. Rotary International's print shop produces more than 4 million pieces of material annually, and outside printers used by RI publish much more. To facilitate Rotary's global financial operations, and because of monetary restrictions in certain countries, RI maintains bank accounts in some 38 countries.
Poised at the forefront of the information age, Rotary also operates an extensive communications network, pipelining handbooks, newsletters, brochures, videos, public relations materials, and other tools to districts, clubs, and individual Rotarians on virtually every aspect of Rotary service. Many resources are produced in 9 languages, some in as many as 22. The RI News, for example, relays information from the Secretariat to all Rotary Club presidents and secretaries worldwide. Published 10 times a year, it is packed with ideas for effective club administration and news of club projects, reports actions of the RI Board, and contains messages from the RI President along with other important announcements. The General Secretary's letter goes out from the Managing Officer of Rotary International to every RI District Governor and Committee person. Every District Governor, in turn, sends a monthly newsletter to the Presidents and Secretaries of all the clubs in the district. And most Rotary clubs publish a weekly bulletin for distribution to their members. In addition, the official magazine of Rotary International, The Rotarian, is published in English, and there are 20 official regional magazines, along with many district publications. These magazines are a rich source of Rotary news and service project ideas. Through them, Rotarians are invited to share their ideas and club information with their fellow Rotarians. Rotary magazines also report on topical issues of interest to Rotarians, such as business management, healthcare, the environment, and new technology.
The Rotary Basic Library is a major informational resource for all Rotarians. Its 7 volumes detail the 4 avenues of service, the Rotary Foundation, and youth activities, and give an overview of Rotary, including its history, philosophy, programs, and procedures. It is published in 9 languages and updated periodically. The Manual of Procedure is the basic Rotary rulebook. It includes constitutional documents and policies and procedures of Rotary International as determined by the Board of Directors. The manual is published every 3 years in 9 languages following the triennial meetings of the RI Council on Legislation, which is Rotary's parliament. The official directory provides a worldwide guide to Rotary clubs and their meeting times and locations. Published each year, it is an essential traveling companion for Rotarians who want to make up meetings while away from home. It also contains the names, addresses, and rates of more than 400 hotels in some 70 countries. The Rotary News Network, or RNN, is Rotary's video magazine. A typical 15-minute edition contains 3 or 4 major features on club projects, Rotary events or RI meetings, coverage of the RI President, a roundup of service ideas from clubs, and a segment on basic Rotary information. The RNN is produced 4 times a year and is available by subscription. For more information about these and other Rotary publications and communications tools and how to order them, contact your Rotary Club secretary.
The Rotary International Gear Wheel is a familiar sight each day to people entering thousands of cities, towns, and villages in countries around the world. It symbolizes the bond that connects men and women of diverse nationalities, cultures, businesses, and professions. That bond is fellowship, which is rooted in a shared commitment to the ideal of service above self. What does it really mean to be a Rotarian and serve others? A Texas, USA optometrist can give a ready answer. After treating the urban poor in a 3H-supported eye care clinic in Mexico, he commented, "This is the most worthwhile thing I've done in my life. I've been a Rotary Club member for 18 years, but it wasn't until I came here to help people to see that I really became a Rotarian." By joining together in fellowship and service with more than 1.1 million Rotarians around the globe, you have a wealth of opportunity. The opportunity to strengthen your Rotary Club, to make your community a better place, to be a good example to youth, to promote the highest ethical standards in your business or professional life, and to improve the lives of those in other lands. In doing so, you too will grow in a very real sense. For as you reach beyond yourself to touch the lives of others, they will become part of your world.
Well, that's Rotary in an hour.
Thanks for listening.
This version of Rotary in an Hour was digitized on 29 January 2024. The original audio tape, produced by Rotary International no later than the early 2000s, does not bear a copyright. If you have any questions, please visit our website, www.bahr